Okay, digging into the Corvette center console. We've got a Mid-America Motor Works power window center console, which is fine, but it's not correct for 68 because it's missing the seatbelt pockets, which I think would be cool to have, but not for the price they want for one. I doubt I'll buy it. Here's the fiber optic for the rear. One out of the three works. This is all my power window motor wires, which they look okay. I know the e-brake illuminator works because that comes on. We've got some new harness wires mixed in with old wires. So I'm just sorting stuff out. Like, here's some new stuff here. So a lot of the things in the car work fine, but a lot of them don't seem to work. Mostly the gauges. The fuel gauge was working initially for a few days, and then it quit working. So I'm about to take out this metal piece. There's a couple screws, and this whole setup just looks awful. The console surround is in pretty bad shape. But when you put it all together, you know, it's not bad for a 50 plus year old car, getting close to 60 years old. So we're gonna take out the center stack and investigate into the stereo, all the wiring for the gauges, and try to sort it out, clean it up, and put it back together in better shape than it was. Alright, this is behind the stack, and you know, obviously people have been in and out of this dash numerous times. Everything's just worse for wear. Here's the old radio amp. It's got a couple cut wires. This is super loose. That could be tightened or glued or something. So yeah, you can see, look at this, everything's marked. So somebody was at least thoughtful enough to do some things back here. But yeah, it's just the only thing that does work, like I said, is the oil pressure gauge, which is right here. So that's nice. So I'm just gonna do what I can, do some inspecting. Look at this. So there's an ignition light that I have no idea. Oh look, does it shine? Oh wow. Okay, so now I have an idea thanks to the camera. A little tiny bit of light comes out of the keyhole apparently. It's interesting. Okay, I'm taking a video of behind the speedo cluster. Just for any reference, I'm pretty sure the wire connections are marked gray or green. I know one of them's a blinker, one of them's a brake light. Probably one of them is a ground. But tell you, this tachometer needle is bent and it's been bugging me, and I wanted to dig into the wiring anyway, see what I've got. So torn the dash completely apart and the console, and I'm doing some epoxy repair. It's already been repaired. I didn't do all that orange stuff, but I added a little bit on top of it because it's all been epoxied back together. Here's the back of the gauge pack. So there's lots of garbage going on in here, but I got lots of 66 Chevrolet experience, and it's working out pretty good so far. So I've dropped the column a bit. I think I'm just going to tape these together and mark gray stripe aft or blue stripe aft. Oh, I've got it in the video now. So just gonna go ahead and unplug everything. I've already unhooked the speedo and the tach and the ignition, so it's coming out soon. And to think I just drove it yesterday. I blew the power window motor fuse for some reason, so moving on. Okay, it's out, and now listen to this. Now this is funny. I've shaken it. Bulbs keep falling out. There must be 8 bulbs in here. Imagine how many times someone like tried to reach behind there with no vision and okay, cool. So as you see, the back got gray, pink and tan, gray, gray, blue, gray. So that's 6 bulbs just for this side and 6 bulbs for this side. Okay, 12 bulbs. And how many do I got? 3, 6, 7. 8. There's 9 over here. 10, 11. Boy, this had to be some of the rattles in the car all by themselves. All right, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I've got 11 bulbs that weren't hooked to anything. There's still a couple more. Oop, there goes 12. Because all my connections, this is so cool. I've never taken a Corvette apart. So all my connections are here, bulbs, and then here, bulbs. So, hey, I'll have to go by with a ground for most of these and test them. So here's that pink and tan one. And now I can see everything, and I can make sure everything is looking good. I can change that fuse for the power windows. I can plug my ignition and things back in to test some stuff before I put it all back together. What a mess. Okay, the first time Corvette under dash digging. It's just like a 66 Chevelle in many respects, or any 60s Chevy that you've taken apart and pulled the dash out of. So with the addition of, Corvette has some special stuff, a direct tachometer cable. Chevelle never had that. And the vacuum lines. So these two hook to my headlight, but what's been perplexing me is that there's a missing hose for this one. I have one of them, and it's under here, but there's just the absence of that other hose has been bugging me. So all in all, it doesn't look too bad under here. We're going to clean up a couple things. There's like a resistor, a diode on the back of the tach that this wasn't even hooked up to. So I guess I'm not missing anything there. Just gonna button this up soon after I fix that tachometer cable, but just want to give you guys a look. Headlight switch, all the speedo lights and blinker. This is the two vacuum hoses for the headlight. Speedo cable. You've got a ground that goes from up here and it comes down, goes into this, and then we've got the tachometer, and we've got the ground, or whatever it is. I believe that's a ground. And same with speedo has one of those. Here's the one hose that was on the windshield wiper, or near the windshield wiper thing. So I can trace the hose with the blue tape on it, and it goes back up through the firewall. And then there's a couple more that go up through there. So whatever. I'm never going to use the windshield wipers in this car anyway. But the headlights already work, so that's not an issue. Happy about that. Gonna press on. Yeah, press.